Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Star Blast Studios coming here with a brand new figure review, and today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at the new Demoniacal Fit Counterattack K, aka a 2.0 Whis Goku. Now, I've been very excited for this release, especially because there's some pretty good comparisons that you can make with the Kong Studios version of this figure, and I really wanted to see how Demoniacal Fit would make their own take on this specific figure in general. Looking through the box, like the hair sculpt seems to be all brand new. You've got some really cool looking faces, and also I'm really excited to see how the skirt piece is going to turn out. Just so we can look at the box real quick. Here's the front of the box. Here's the side and the back with all of the cool pictures right over there. You even have the SH. The funny thing about this is you have an SH Figuarts Golden Frieza being put right there for promotional pictures, but Demoniacal Fit has yet to actually make their own version of Frieza, so they're literally using SH Figuarts in the back for their own promotional images, which they're really not hiding that in terms of copywriting and stuff, they're not really hiding the fact that this is meant to go with your SH Figuarts collection, which I think that's a funny thing in general. But anyways, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get this figure out of the box. Oh, and just so you guys can see how the figure is displayed within the clamshell, here is the whole thing inside of there. The faces I might have rearranged just from taking the faces out, putting them back in. The order might not be the same. And also, there's just one other accessory, and when I got it, it wasn't even inside of the box, it was outside of the box. So, I pretty much got the 4-star Dragon Ball stand. Again, it's weird it wasn't even inside, behind the box, when there's plenty of room that they could have, that they had to put it in there. So that's a little bit interesting, but anyways, let's get into this figure. Alright, guys, so here we have the figure opened up and out of the packaging, and Demoniacal Fit has heavily impressed me once again with one of their releases. The way that the hair is sculpted, this is exactly what I would love Tamashii Nations themselves to have done with a Super Saiyan Blue Goku sculpt. I really like how everything about this sculpt is new. You can tell, when it comes to this, there's some references that they made to the original sculpt, and initially I thought that this was pretty much the exact same sculpt as this one, if I can get this to stand, and all they did was change out the front hairpiece and sculpt some new stuff on it. But that's actually not even the case at all, because when you look at this entire thing, and you take off the hairpiece from the front of this, you can pretty much tell that these are actually two completely different sculpts, and I really like that effort that Demoniacal Fit went and put into this Super Saiyan Blue hair sculpt. In terms of the color differences, this is a much light, a little bit of a lighter blue, than the one from the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie version Goku. But in terms of accuracy, they're both accurate. This one has the colors of the Broly movie, which is a much darker blue for Super Saiyan Blue, and then this one has the colors of the anime, which has the blue being a lot lighter. So in terms of the colors, they're both accurate to me, and they both represent different versions of Goku, and I really like that, they went along with this route. When it comes to the differences in the colors, they both work for me, but in terms of the sculpt, I think Demoniacal Fit is absolutely superior and takes the cake with this sculpt itself. Now, speaking of sculpting, looking at this entire section of the figure, look at this entire sculpt. I'm pretty sure a lot of this sculpt itself is very much the same. Actually, no, it's very much different as well, than compared to other figures. I've been looking around and I can't manage to find any figures that have a similar sculpt to this at all. At least not something that I had nothing that I was able to find. This could be similar to something, but there's no figure that I'm aware of that has this type of sculpt work in there like that. This is a whole new sculpt. This is all work to mimic Figuarts, and I really like how this turned out. You have a really good amount of articulation in there, and it doesn't feel like it's overly loose or overly tight. It feels just right. It still has that sort of bootlegish feel as you would expect, but it really does work, and I gotta commend Demoniacal Fit with this type of thing. Now, one of the big things that was when this figure first had its promo images came out, one of the things that people wanted to see was how this fared up against the Kong Studios Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Now, just by looking at it, there is some personal preference that I think people will have when it comes to each one. But for me, I really like how they did the faces for this Super Saiyan Blue Goku over the ones on here. They definitely, I think that, when it comes to Demoniacal Fit, they've always done a better job of making their faces look a lot more official and accurate, and that's something that Kong Studios isn't able to quite manage as well. When it comes to Kong Studios, I think half the time they're pretty good at keeping a lot of their quality consistent. Here, though, Demoniacal Fit doesn't have any problems, at least with me, in terms of the consistency. There is actually a few QC issues. We'll get into those in a little bit, but overall, I'm really impressed by this. And ever since that Tamashii Nations went and released a 1.0 version of the Resurrection F Goku, I feel like we've been needing a 2.0 for quite some time. And looking at the two side by side here, I really think that Demoniacal Fit picked it right out of the ballpark with this figure. The hair sculpt that they have here on the 1.0 Goku, just, you know, it just simply does not hold up to me anymore. I get that some people might like this one more, but the reason why I don't like this hair sculpt as much is because a lot of the hair seems like really closed in, and if you look at it upside down, it looks kind of similar to a strawberry, but painted blue. And when it comes to like all of these other hairs, like they're more fluffed out, they have a lot more life in them, and I really like the sculpting that's just done on these more. Also, when it comes to the faces, I think the faces are still like good for what they are and for the time. But when it comes to the faces over here, this is actually where it's interesting for me. When it comes to all of the faces that they use, and I'll go ahead and show them off like right over here. You pretty much got the stern face, the smirking face, the smiling face, and the teeth gritted face. And it would have been very easy for them to go and replicate the faces that came with the OG Super Saiyan Blue Goku, but the route that they went instead was go and use the same exact mold that they made for the clone Goku. And to me, that was a very interesting choice, but looking at how the figure came out, I like that it gives Goku a much more aggressive look in this form, and making it so that, like, Super Saiyan Blue is a lot more, you know, like, menacing looking. In some artworks that I've seen of Goku, he did have a lot more of a menacing look while in Super Saiyan Blue. And while that might be quite as accurate, I like that Demoniacal Fit went and did something different so that, you know, you have options, because at the same time as this is going on, you can, if you have a Super Saiyan Blue Goku figure and you don't like the faces that come on the Demoniacal Fit figure, you can pretty much go and interchange the faces on the Super Saiyan Blue hair, no problem, and just like use these ones as you wish. And you can actually do the same exact thing with the Kong Studios if you for some reason prefer those faces. No judgment there if you prefer the faces, but like, it's an option right over there, but I'm not going to personally do it here on camera. But you can definitely see just like it still works pretty darn well when it comes to using the faces on the SH Figuarts faces. But yeah, let me go ahead and take the faces back off and get the Demoniacal Fit face right back on over here. Now, when it comes to the actual hair sculpt, when it comes to Demoniacal Fit has been using a lot more small pegs lately. Hey, I'll take the actual head off right over here, and you can see that when compared to the actual SH Figuarts version, if I can get this darn thing to stand, so I can give you guys comparisons. I guess that's one small issue I'm having with this figure. Is like he's not standing properly. Just like with what Demoniacal Fit's doing, you pretty much got like a smaller peg going on, but for whatever reason, and I don't know how this is working in terms of engineering and stuff, you can still very easily plop this head onto an SH Figuarts body, and it works on there very, very well. And oddly enough, when I put it back onto the actual Demoniacal Fit body after, you know, I'm done posing it around on here, I'm not having any issues with the actual head being too loose. And so that's just like, I don't know how they managed to do that, but I just love the fact that, you know, you're able to take different, put this on different bodies. That is just fantastic to me. Like, looking at Goku on this body, this to me feels like my favorite Super Saiyan Blue Goku. I just prefer the sculpt of the hair. I really like how the faces came out, and I like Demoniacal Fit is doing something different. Now, when it comes to the plastic, some of it is a little bit shiny, but unlike when it comes to the full Dookie Super Saiyan Goku, I can give Demoniacal Fit a pass for that, because guess what? They're a third-party company and not an official multi-million-dollar company that shouldn't have any reason to have their plastic be like that. Looking at the sculpt, when it came down to the feet, I thought that this would be a very similar. I thought that this would be the same exact sculpt as what we had here for the shoes on the Super Saiyan Blue Goku. But looking at it side by side, there's clearly a lot of differences. There's clearly differences in like how stuff is sculpted. Like, you can see like the strap that's gone like right over, it's a little bit smaller. So clearly they're referencing, and they made the same design, but they took the actual sculpt and they made it from scratch. and I like that a lot about this figure. They could have gone the easy route, but maybe it was just because they couldn't manage to figure out a way to connect them like that in the first place. But the fact that they even went and made their own like different sculpt like that, you know, I really like that about Demoniacal Fit. Now, there's one QC issue I'm having with this figure, and that's the fact that on my copy, this belt piece came off very easily, and as a result of that, you can see like there's some I don't know what that is, like some plastic coming out from like the inside of that hole. And I think that this is just on my copy. I haven't seen anyone else have this specific type of issue. I can just put it back in, and there's really not going to be any problem, but it's just something to be wary of when you're handling this figure. Now, another issue that I had when it came to this figure was interchanging the hands. Oh, it actually... So, on this specific copy, like, I had issues where whenever I take out the hands, like, the entire peg would actually come out along with the with the wrist, and that's, you know, when it comes to these figures, that's not supposed to happen. So, a way I can get around it is, like, you have to squeeze the plastic right over here at the actual wrist as you pull, and then that is when you're able to help the actual hand get out and leave enough friction to have it so where the peg is secure. It still like sort of comes out like a little bit, so you just put it back in. But let's take a blast effect hand, for example, and put it into this figure. That one actually goes in easily. I don't feel like it fits in as tight as the wrist, but you know, it works. You're still able to interchange the hands on here, no problem with any of these. And because of the fact that that one fits on very, like, not as securely, but like not where it's like it's overly loose or anything like that, to me it still functions, and I like that it still does. But the other issue actually still comes with the wrist itself, as when it comes to the articulation on this specific wrist, I'm not able to get this one to move. Now, I understand that, like, I can probably go and do some use of hot water in order to be able to get that to pop and move out, but I wanted to actually show the review first so I can show you guys, like, hey, these are some QC issues I'm having with this figure. So I'm not going to try to, I keep, every time I'm like finicking around with it to try to get it to move, but like, in all honesty, I should put on the hot water and not risk breaking it. That's just my ADD just sort of kicking in and making me do that. So I just gotta leave it as it is. But yeah, now when it comes to the actual hands on this figure, you obviously do get your typical pair of fists, which comes on the figure out of the packaging. You do get a instant transmission hand. You do also get a pair of Kamehameha hands, a pair of open palm type hands, and a pair of martial arts types of hands. It's your basic batch of Goku's accessories. And you also get like a 4-star Dragon Ball display stand. Now actually, no, it's when it comes to the Dragon Balls itself, I thought that everyone was going to end up getting the 4-star Dragon Ball, but I've seen on other copies of the figure where some people got like the 3-star Dragon Ball stand, so I think it's just like with their own version of the Ultra Instinct Goku that they were able to get out, like, they're pretty much doing like the randomization thing where if you get this figure, you're not going to, it's not guaranteed what amount of stars you'll get on your Dragon Ball. And I like that they're doing that. You know, it's a fun way to just sort of like have the figure, and if you get the 4-star Dragon Ball, you're one of the lucky people. And for the last and final accessory, you do get a Kamehameha effect piece, which I haven't taken out of the box because I know that when you assemble the actual Kamehameha effect piece, you're gonna run into the, you're not exactly gonna be able to put it back into the box like after you're done. Like I do keep the accessories like that, but just so you can see, like there should be an image on the screen so that you guys see it. And I'll maybe even put like one photo over here if I decide to assemble it together after this review is done. But yeah, that is pretty much it for your accessories. And despite all, you know, with all of that all said and done, I think Demoniacal Fit really did kill it with all of the accessories and everything like that. Now, one complaint that there is going to be when it comes to this is just the fact that they decided to go with their smaller neck peg. And because of the fact that they went and did that, you're making it so that a lot of the Goku figures that exist within the line can't exactly fit without the head being loose. Now, for example, here we have a Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku figure. You pretty much take the head off, and you put it right on here. And when you put it on this body, like because the peg is just like too small. Actually, I don't even know if I got it in like the right way. Because of the fact that the peg is too small, you're running into like these this looseness when it comes to actually using it. So in order to actually make the figure like work properly, if you want to have it work with your SH Figuarts, you got to interchange the neck peg. Now, specifically with me, I think what I'll end up doing, because I feel like this is my definitive Super Saiyan Blue Goku, I'll probably interchange the neck out with the Kong Studios version of the figure, like with the neck peg like that, since I'm not exactly going to be wanting to use this body anymore. I think that this one just came out a whole lot better in my opinion. So the Kong Studios will definitely take at least some form with this new version so I can have like a peg that works with all of my Goku figures. I don't understand why Demoniacal Fit like goes this route using their own like smaller neck pegs when they could in fact put in some more like playability while making it so that all of the Goku figure heads like they work with this release. And let's get into the articulation. When it comes to the head, there is a little bit of limitations that comes with the head as a result of the sculpt of the hair. Like, and if you push it back too much, the hair does come out, or the entire head comes out. But you can pretty much, okay, I'm trying to get this to move a little bit more up, but like it's not doing it for me. So like I think this is the max I can actually get him to look up, which is a little bit disappointing. But I think on other bodies it should be easier to get him to move. He does look down, and he does like move left and hit the head left and right. When it comes to the arms, you do get a full 360 right over there. There's a little bit of squeakiness right over there, but nothing too bad. The arms do go out. You do have like a bicep swivel right there. The double jointed arms, and of course you have the basic articulation that you would know with the Goku figures in the wrist peg. The torso, this is going to be new, so I don't know how far this is going to like move out. The torso does move this far forward and this far back. Pretty much basic for your Goku figure. You do actually have a waist articulation, and unlike with the Kong Studios, when it comes to this skirt, it's actually a flexible piece, which is why I prefer. This has already won me over with the Kong Studios. As soon as I saw that this piece was flexible, I'm like, yep, Demoniacal Fit beat it. So, like, this is to me is the definitive Super Saiyan Blue Goku, just because of that, like that flexible plastic. So he can kick forward that far, and he can move his feet back, like his legs back that much. You are able to get the legs out to the side that much, which is pretty good and standard for your your Goku figures in general. You do have an upper thigh swivel, which I'm remembering to actually show off in the reviews now. You have the double jointed knees, and when it comes to the feet are a little bit are probably the most disappointing, as they feel very tight and there's not very much articulation you can get out of it. Not a major deal breaker at all, but just something that I wish was a little bit better. You do have a toe hinge right over there, and that is about it for your articulation on this Goku. Now, what is this Goku figure without me at least trying to do some sort of head swapping? Now, like I already showed, when it comes to putting the figure on this other heads on this body, it doesn't work as well because of the neck peg, but because the head practically for some reason works on the smaller and larger pegs, let's go ahead and try to get this figure on a bunch of different Goku bodies. Now actually I'm just kidding, because the first body that we put this on is the Demoniacal Fit Gohan body, and because of the fact that it's the same exact peg, of course the head is going to fit on nicely. It's like it's not too loose, not too tight, despite it being on a smaller peg. Like, I mean, that is the way how it was intended to be, but like this, I already had this head going on bigger ball pegs, so I'm surprised that the thing was even able to work. But here's the next head swap. Here it is on the Awakening Goku body, and my gosh, does this look badass on here or what? Like, just the sculpt of the hair going along with the waviness of the belt. This is a great head swap. I really like how this comes out. Here it is on the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku body. The Kong Studios Super Dragon Ball Heroes version Goku body. The Goku Black body if you wanted to do something different and spice it up. The Ultra Instinct Omen Goku body. The Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku body with the modified belt piece to make it look like he's from the Broly movie. The Kong Studios Goku body, which if you wanted to put this on this body, even though it's the exact same thing, I mean, sure, you can do it. The Demoniacal Fit Clone Goku body. Now this right here I think is my favorite head swap, and I gotta give full credit to my buddy the Limit Breaker for showing me how do you do this. So you basically take the Super Saiyan Blue Goku head that we just got right now, and you take the faces from the Demoniacal Fit Kaioken Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and you interchange it with this one over here, and you pretty much got like a way better looking Super Saiyan Blue Goku figure with the Kaioken around him, and I think that this just looks absolutely sick. I love how this just comes out with the hair, and it definitely makes for a better Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku overall. And for the final head swap, just to show you guys that you can do this, here it is on the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan God Goku body. Now off camera I did go and put the wrist through some hot water in order to get the articulation move, and it works out just fine. So I'm not having any problems with the wrist. If you guys are having any tightness with the actual joints and they're not moving the way you want to, just put the figure through some hot water, or just like the specific area into hot water, and that should loosen it up so that it starts working properly all over again. But overall, for my thoughts on this figure, there is a couple QC issues when it comes to the Goku with the wrist and with, I mean, I don't even know if this is a QC issue, but I really don't like the limited amount of articulation that you have in the ankles. But overall, I'm absolutely happy to accept this as currently my definitive Whis Super Saiyan Blue Goku. This is just an absolutely fantastic figure, and I'm very, very much happy with it. And if you guys want to go ahead and pick this figure up, you guys can do so at 5ktoys.com. They just recently released this figure and they just started shipping it out, so a lot of people are getting this figure into their collection right now. And if you guys do want to be one of the people to get this in as soon as possible, I will leave a link down in the description below so that you guys can go ahead and pick this figure up. But anyways, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys did enjoy and that this review was informative to you guys. I will see you all in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Until then.